Good everyone. In today's video, we are going to be trying out sending notification from one mobile app to another. We are going to be using a third-party library called PUSHY. It's a cloud-based cloud-based service that you register and get an API key, and then you send notifications from one application to another using their SDK. So having said that, I already have a project created already called training. Now let me create a new project. That is the second application we are going to use for the project to test it. So new project, let it load, empty activity, second, then I'll open this and I'll say second, sorry, and then I'll remove this guy. You might not as well do all this, but I'm just doing it for my own sake, and I'll click on finish. So now while that one is still loading, let us move on to the web application. So now this is the website, dashboard.pushy.me. but when you go onto this website for the first time, you have to sign up and register. Sorry, not Pushy dashboard, it will send you to sign up. So it's very easy, just put in your our second project is still building. You just put in your name, your email address, your password, and agree to the terms and conditions and sign up. And then it will be you'll be presented with a dialogue, something like this. It will now tell you to enter in the application you want to connect to the service rather. So now I'm going to come and copy this package name, me.com.training. So I'm going to come here. I'll paste that in the Android package section. It says optional, but sometimes it might want you to do it. I've tried it on and it didn't work, so I have to always put it. Sorry. Training. Now, just close this out. Now let's add a new project again. This one we called it second. Then I paste it here. Sorry, that should be the okay, sorry, it's supposed to be second and not training, so I just have to clear this out. As you can see, it gave us an error because you cannot have the same package for two projects. So I'll say on let me see if that was right. Second, yeah. So now this is an API key that has been given. This is what you use to when you want to make a post request. Then for every device that is registered under this application, what do I mean? If anyone downloads this application on their device, there's a key that will be given to that application that will be used to route the packet that is being sent to that application. So it will be done by Pushy. Pushy will be the one to generate that key. You just have to write the code that will run the script for you. So let me come back to training now. Hold on. Alright, so sorry for that. Now I have to create a class called, rather I'll create a package first of all. So I'll click on the Java package, I'll click on new, I'll click on package, and then I'll name this I'm just name it data for example, and then I'll create a new class. I'll call this class keep alive. Yeah. So now in this keep alive, I'm going to extend services. From 100 app services. Now it wants me to implement the method that comes with it, the unbind. I'll click on that. Then I'll give a bit of space. And then now I'll create a variable called int count is equal to 0. I'll create a string. I'll call it a tag just to have reference to our log cat. Sorry. so that if my keypad is a bit loud on the videos, it's just it's an error from my end, but I'll try and see how I can reduce the sound. So on create, or rather I'll just say on create, and I click on enter. Now first thing I want to add is the if statement that says if build dot version dot sdk int is greater than, let me give a space, build dot version codes dot that is for Oreo. If it is greater than it, then we should not want to start a custom, is the method I'm going to create, custom foreground service for ground. Then I would like to log it as well. I'll say loop started else start foreground. So what we're trying to check the API level, so we know we're going to use the built-in start foreground service, or we're going to create our own start notification. So now this new notification now it comes in from the Android app notification class. So now let me create this because it's giving us a red line. So I come and create this here. Oh, this is it here. Now let's come and define that guy. So I say notification channel or rather I say notification channel is equal to new notification channel. Then admin channel, this is, let me say this as an admin channel. Then the channel name, let me bring this to the next line so it don't get too complicated. The channel name, I'll say channel underscore 01. Then I'll say notification manager dot important minimum, and with that I think I'll just close that up here. Sorry. Then I'll see. Sorry. Let me quickly close this up here. And then let me see, why am I having this error? Okay, I need to add this to the top of it as to this required API. So now I come next, I'll say notification channel dot set. What we are trying to do now, we're trying to build our own custom notification tree if the API level of the phone that downloaded our app does not have it. Something similar to that is what we are trying to achieve. So we say notification channel dot set lock screen visibility. We say notification dot visible, call it private. Then move on to the next one. We say notification channel dot set description, we call it a training channel. Sorry, this is supposed to be in here. Sorry. Training channel. Then we say notification manager is equal to, give it an object, typecast it, notification manager, get system service rather, then we say context notification service. Let's see, notification context dot. Okay, now let me bring this to the next line so we don't get too crowded. Dot notification service. Then we move on to the next one. We say manager dot create notification channel. Then we pass in this our notification that we have created in. Yeah, that's the object of all this that we have been defined. There's this guy, we pass it into this. Then the next thing we do is we come into the notification builder, notification compat rather, notification compat. Now say notification compat is equal to, or before that we have to create a builder. So we'll just come at the top here, we say notification compat dot builder, then we say no builder, or rather no build is equal to notification dot builder. Then we pass this as the context, and then the admin channel. The admin channel, hold on, let me quickly move this out of the way. Yeah, so now we put this at this spot, at this point. Then we say this channel, admin channel ID, is what we put here. As you can see right here, come we do the same thing, we paste it in. Sorry, I'm supposed to paste more than once. Then we say the notification no builder, this is the object we are giving to it. Now we come down to this aspect, the notification compact equal to no notification compact as the object. No notification build, no build rather, just happen, no build dot set ongoing, call it true. We come down to the next one, we say dot set content type, title rather, content title, we say tree is running. Okay, so once we've set the content, sorry, we still have to add one more thing. We say set priority, or rather we still have to add some more properties. Notification manager rather dot importance, we'll say to minimum as not to be required too much resource, and then we say dot set category, say notification, no, just say notification dot category service dot build. Then once we are done with that, we now start our foreground service. We pass in any index we like as an ID, and then we pass the notification compact channel. Yeah. Let's see, we're having an error. This is set going through. No builder. So let me see what the complaining about. Change variable type to notification. Okay, so this is supposed to be notification. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. So now we'll now have to add another command, which is, or rather another line of code, which is start and start command. Then we say start. Now we have to start a timer that whenever the app is being closed, the service will keep running to be listening for incoming notification. Then we'll return start not sticking. This is just to make sure that the service does not terminate, but sometimes some Android devices might terminate due to resources, or they are running low on resources. So now we have to come and write some custom function here. So we'll say something like this: timer, say timer, then we say timer tax, sorry, I was supposed to close this out. Sorry about that. We'll come inside, we say timer is equal to timer. Sorry, it's not supposed to be there. And then timer tax rather is equal to this is just like a loop we want to be constantly executing. Then we say count. This count now we define it at the top when we are creating the class, when we are first adding variables in the class. And then we say timer dot schedule, say timer tax, passing every 1 second, like that. Now this aspect is not really needed, but why I'm doing this because some mobile phones, when you run this program on it or the app on it and it gives you the same problem, you might start feeling, oh, this is not right. So in order not to have this issue, the service might not work on some devices and you feel maybe the program was not well written. That is why we are taking the extra step to write it, just to make sure that any device that downloads our app will not give us an issue. So I'll say cancel, and then timer is equal to null. Yeah. So now as you can see, now this stop has not been called, it's only the start. We're going to call it in the next class. So now we're going to create a class called within this data package. We'll call it pusher. Now we say pusher. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Now there's something that I need to add, which didn't escape my mind. So now when we come here, we're going to Android. There's let's see. We have to get the SDK. This is what I'm supposed to have added first of all before any other thing. So I have to come into my Gradle file. I'm going to add this line, and you have to need internet, you can see, for you to be able to add this dependency. So now I'm going to synchronize. Then I'll come here. Why that one is still synchronizing? Let's check out on our second project. The same thing. So now as you can see, what we are going to be doing on this second project is going to be similar to that of the first project. It's going to be similar to that of the first project. So most of the code are going to look the same, just in terms of business logic, that is when it will be different. Alright. So now I'm going to pause the video and then I'll get right back to it. Alright, so now we have added the dependency, and we have also registered our application on the PUSHY service. So now I'll come here, I'll say public static object mapper, which is coming from the PUSHY SDK. Then I'll say mapper, go to object mapper. Then I'll come here and say public static string send push rather. Now this will take in an argument of type pushy. So I'll say push. Let's see. Push request. As you can see, I'm having a red line. Why that red line is because I've not yet defined this pushy request. So I'm going to come at the bottom here. I'm going to say public static class push request. Yep. Now I'm going to say public because these are objects that are going to be referenced from outside of this context. This is the sender, that's the object we just created, and then the data, or rather the payload that I want to, that's the next object we are creating. So we say this guy has data. So now we come here, we say public push, we say object data object. Okay, this is supposed to be inside of this context rather. So we say this data is equal to data, and same goes for the 2. We say this, the 2 is equal to 2. Now we come right here, we say HTTP client. So now I need to also add another library because we need this HTTP client now to send certain values. So I'm going to pause the video now and then search up for the dependency, and then I'll continue with it. Alright, so you guys just hang on there. So I was able to do a bit of research, and then I found out I have to first of all paste this in. Now let me explain what I just did. I had to first of all implement this com.http client Google HTTP client JSON 1.19.0, because if you should just go with the normal one, Android Studio has its own already inbuilt, so it's going to be causing confusion somehow. So, and it's coming from this CZ I can't pronounce that HTTP client 4.58. All I'm just trying to say that you have to implement it this way for it to work. You get? So try and do this, and then you should have a smooth build. So let me quickly return null first of all, so this error can go away, so I can synchronize my project. Come on, why is this becoming too sluggish? Oh, I'm having a sluggish laptop now. I don't know what's wrong. So let me pause the video. Once it's done, I'll come. Alright, so I will have to return null so I can build the project successfully without having an error. What's wrong with this laptop now? I know, fast. Sorry again once more guys, I have to pause because my laptop is misbehaving. Alright, so I'm back, so I'll just return null. So we'll not be having any error, so the program can build perfectly. So let me see, what is this still complaining about? Return void. Let's do this first. Alright, so So now let me build, because you can see I added the dependency, which is this line here. So I need to build the project, this line rather. So let the project build and let's see. Alright, so it was successful, we didn't have any errors, so let's continue. So now we'll come right here and say HTTP. This time around we should have it HTTP client. There you see where it's coming from, the CZ or whatever, no disrespect but I can't pronounce that, equal to new default HTTP client. That's depreciated, but for now this is what we can use, so let's continue. Alright, so let's continue. Now I say HTTP client. The next line is going to be HTTP post, because we want to perform a post request. Then we'll say request, we can name it request, is equal to new. So you can as well use retrofit for something like this, but I just stick to this guy because it's more, it's laid out in their documentation. As you can see, if I should go to where is it at again? Okay, here there's it. If I should go into this their documentation, as you can see, this is a laid out, the axis Java or Kotlin, you follow, you walk through it, you see it's a laid out procedure. So I just rather make use of their own laid out procedure than having to write my own custom build. You get, these are the permissions that needs to be passed and all that. Yep, so we'll just take it a step at a time, so it is not as if I'm doing out of context, so we'll be in line with what they are doing. So now we have already done this part, we have gotten we have created an app, which is what we did here. Then we have got the SDK, which is what we did here. Now the next line now we are doing now is we want to register the device. So now we say HTTPS, this is the endpoint, api.pushy.me/pushy question mark, we pass in the parameter dash key is equal to, then here we will now pass the key. Let me say constant dot, let me see requests underscore key. Now you can see this constant. Now I've not created this, so I'm going to come right here, I'm going to right click, or rather I'll just create it in the housing class. I'll say constant and it will be an interface. Or rather, let me leave that as a class. Then now say public static, what do we call that again? Request key. Request key is equal to. So now you see this API key that I'm about to paste here is supposed to be private. You see, it's supposed to be private. So I'm just, because of this tutorial's sake, I'm going to make it public, but in your own case you have to make it private. I'll have to get back to this place, something just happened. Alright, so we continue. Now this API, like I was saying, is not supposed to be publicly visible, because once someone installs this your app and then decodes the app, you'll be able to view this API key. But just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to make it public. And please don't try to use this my API key, because as soon as I'm done, I will delete this API key. So it is not going to work for you, so don't try it. You'll be surprised, some people might want to still go ahead and try it. So let me constant.api key. So now let me close that out. Then I'll say request dot header. This is just the regular thing you do with retrofret, but I'm rather using this HTTP client from MSEBER Android HTTP class to make use of it. And then I'm going to say the value will be in application.json. That's the response we are going to get. The kind of data we expect to get back, or want to pass in rather, by it. JSON is equal to mapper dot write value right. Let me see pushy. Now pushy is this guy that was being passed in, which is this that is being passed in here. So now we say request dot set entity. We say new byte array. Then we pass in this JSON as the argument. Then we say HTTP respond. HTTP response is equal to client dot execute client dot execute request, then new basic HTTP context. Then we say string res is equal to entity respond from host to host. Let's copy this guy. Let's say response dot get entity. Then say map object. Map is equal to mapper dot read value response from entity dot map dot class. Then we say if map dot contains key error. That means if there should be an error, we know that something happened, just true, and but if it does not contain error, that means everything went successful. Objects dot require non-nullable map get error dot to string return. Now let's return and see. So now this is what we did now to perform our post request to the pushy cloud service. So with this, we are going to I have to now create another class called pushy receiver. Now this is what will be receiving the incoming notification if the second device is sending to the first device. So now I'm going to extend broadcast receiver, and let me implement those methods, and I click on OK. Alright, so like I was saying, now we want to now create the broadcast receiver class. So we say intent dot add flag, and then I'll say intent dot flag activity clear top. The next thing is the intent. I'll create another intent object, intent, and is equal to new intent. Then we'll add in the context, then the class which we want to call, which is main activity. It. Now give an ID int notification ID is equal to, so this is equal to system dots random sorry about that dot next int will pass 2000. Pass a value into it. For example, now the extras, you can say ID, then we say intent dot get string extras and call it ID. Now you can also put okay, no, let me just continue from here. Then as time goes on, I'll add those features. Pending intent is equal to pending intent dot get activity context, comma 0, comma intent 1, sorry, intent 1, comma pending intent dot flag update current. Now we can as well pass what is called an image builder to the intent, or to the notification rather. So I'll say builder dot builder is equal to name builder, then there will be the context. Then say that set cancel label, set it to true, and cancel the notification. That is when you slide it to the left and it disappears. Set small icon, we say arrow dot draw dot, we use the icon background launcher, the default one. You can add whatever custom ID you want here. So I'm not supposed to click that, I'm supposed to do dot set content title, and see this can as well be, this is what I was trying to say there, this can as well be a value received from the intent. So for example, we can say if intent dot get string sender is not equal to null, then we know that yes, this value was actually added. You know what, just let's call it, because it's going to be causing a lot of confusion. So now we can say something like this. Now this sender will be populated on the time we want to send the message from the second program, which is the second application. So let's continue. Dot set context text, the text will just say new notification, then terminating this. I'm not supposed to do that. Dot set light. Sorry about that. Color. Sorry, color, not collection. Color dot red 1000. Sorry, 1000. Now say dot set vibrate new long. Sorry, it's supposed to be new long. Then array of let me see, 0 to 40 or 400 to 250 to 400. These values are actually, I had to look them up, so I didn't just start guessing it. So if you do a bit of research, you see it also. Dot set sound, say ring tone manager dot get the default ringtone that is the user selected for his notifications, the URI. Then we say ringtone, sorry, ringtone manager dot type notification. Then we say dot set content intent. Sorry, not info intent. Then passing that pending intent, the object of the pending intent, which is going to call this guy. Now we still need to add one more item, which is the ID, because we've not yet added that. So we're going to add it as we proceed. So now coming to the aspect where I see we can add an image, we say if intent the get string image underscore URL is not equal to null. This image can be the profile picture of whoever it is that sent the notification. We'll now say bitmap is equal to get image URL. This is a method we are going to create, and we'll pass in the URL that was sent through the notification into the as an argument, so it can generate the image. We'll say builder. Sorry, I'm having a cough. New notification compat big picture style. Then we come here, we say dot large picture, passing the bitmap. Then we say big picture style, large picture. But before that, we have to first say dot big picture. I'm also passing. Okay, is the big picture of passing the bitmap, and then the large picture of passing null. Then dot set large icon bitmap. Then we terminate. So now coming to the aspect whereby we now call the notification ID. We say PUSHY, sorry, PUSHY dot set notification channel. We say builder, then we say context, we say notification manager. Notification manager is equal to notification manager. We have to typecast it. Then we say context dot get system context dot notification, sorry, notification service notification manager dot notify, right? Then we say notification ID build dot build. Then say if this aspect now is if the user of our app should clear our app from the background thread, from the background service, that is when he minimized the app, this will be fired. It's not equals to null. What this does is to restart the service so it does not terminate, because at times that starts non-sticky, which is what we did here. What we did here sometimes, at times it do fail in my own experience, so that's why I just have to write this. I say if intent dot get string extras dot equals 1, then we just notify manager dot cancel all. Yeah, just like this. Now let's come and create this our method that generates the image for us. So now we're going to put it in a try and catch block. Let me straight this out a bit and format the code a bit. So I'll say try catch, and I'll log it to the console. Then I'll say get localized message. Now this tag, let me just quickly create it at this point. I'll say private string tag is equal to so now I can just get rid of this guy. You know what, let me just leave it. It can be useful for debugging purpose. So I'll say URL, which is a building class in Java, is equal to new URL. Then I'll say image URL. I'll say HTTP URL connection is equal to HTTP URL connection URL dot open the connection. Now say connect dot set the input to true so as not to block the socket. Now say connect dot connect, calling the connect method. Now say input string, because it's a byte, it's not just text that we can say file reader or system scanner or something. So we say input string, input string is equal to connect dot get input streams that was sent in. These are all built-in class in Java, so there's nothing new. We say bitmap factory dot decode string. Then we say input. Yeah. Then we return null here. And with that, we've succeeded in getting our image that will be displayed and the notification drop down when the notification is received. So with this, now we move on to the next one, which is creating a device registering class. So I'll call this register user. Now it's going to be using asynchronized method that is a background tags. So I'll say AYS is on ASYNC, the first one. Then we're going to pass in the needed parameter, which is void object. Then I think it's asking us to implement the method, though in background seems to be depreciated, but we're still going to make use of it. So say private activity also say private. Sorry. Private tag is equal, what the hell? Sorry, private string tag is equal to string host triangle as I spelled. Then we'll place it here. Then we'll say let's go create a constructor. We need some argument, which is the activity, so we add that in, and we say on the loop background we come and try catch exception E. So return E. Now if it was an error, return the error. If it succeeded, return the success. That is the device token. So now we want to make a request to PUSHY to grant us a device token. Now this is how that device token works. It's just like when you sign up for what's it called? Let me open up my notepad. Notepad give me what I want. So let me look for paint. I just pardon them. I'm trying to explain something here so it to be straightforward for people that don't understand what's about to happen here. So now let me maximize this. Now I have a device. This is one device. Now this device, now my user installed it. So user install. So now user has installed it. Now it needs to make a request. So it needs to make a request to the PUSHY server. I'm sorry that I don't, this diagram might be very horrible, but you guys get the gist, right? The server. This is the server. This is the PUSHY server. Now this is it here, this guy here. So now once you install the app, it will now make this request. Now this request is making, now it has to first of all go through this endpoint, which is this guy here. Then it will now look for this registered key. This registered key now is the one we have is the one we have here. This into so I don't get totally confused. Alright. Oh, my internet is down. So like I was saying, this key now, this is what it will now make use of to make requests to this server that I need a token. Now once a user install this our device, and then once the program runs on his phone, the application runs on the user's phone, it immediately makes a call to this server. Please grant me, it's just like it's requesting for what's my IP address. In networking terms, that's the way it is. When you just turn up an interface and then the interface now does not know an IP address, it will make a request to the default gateway, something like that. So now this will now return what is called the token, which is what will appear here. Recent device. You will see it will display when we have run the program. You see it will display a new device downloaded and then some other information about it. This way to be displayed. So now when it now makes that response, now that response now that the app is getting is what you will see here. Let me see. Is what is going to be returned here. So it is going to make a request now. With that diagram I just explained to you, the response when it went through this channel, don't forget that it has to go through this channel with a registered API key. then the response, it will not be given. Then this device token now will not be saved on the app locally. So whenever the app wants to make request, it does not have to run this thing all over again. You just go and look for it. You can save it in maybe like a MySQL database or shared preference or wherever you want to store the app. You want to store this device token. Alright, so let's continue. Let me quickly close this guy out. I believe so. I'm sorry that this is too terrible, but I believe you guys understand where I'm heading. So now let me close this guy out and then come back here. So as we are saying, I'll come right here. I'll say pushy dot register activity dot get application context. I'll say new URL, then I'll pass this in https com dot, I'll have to go and look into our app settings, and then I need to get this because this is what we added when we are creating the app, and we paste it here. Com dot, clean this guy out, then say /register/device token. As you can see, this is the token we're requesting for, is equal to this is not supposed to be here. Now device token dot open connection, then return that device token for us. So now how this works is that this pushy.register will go into the application that has this API key. It will go into this application that has this API key. Now generates, once it gets here, it will now generate a token and come and display it under here, recent devices. Now the response will now be sent back because it has made that request through that channel, this channel here. Now the response will now be sent back to this string variable device token. Now this will now be also sent again to the package register, so it will come and now display it for us under here. You see it? Then we will now return the device token because now I want to now save it, because with this now we have not yet saved it on the app. We just got it from Pushy, sent it back to Pushy so Pushy can know that yes, this is the device that just registered. Then we ourselves, we don't have reference to it again, and this thing will only run once on installation. After that it will not run again. So now we already got this one out of the way. So now what we want to do now is what? To save this value. So what we are going to say, we are going to say shared preference, or rather, you know what, let me just see here, shared preference. Shared preference is equal to how do you go about this? New shared preference. You know what? Hold on. Let me pause the video and I'll get back to you. Alright, so now we have to save this in shared preference. So what I'll do is I will create a shared preference object, and then I'll say, let me name it sp because I don't like this long variable. sp.edit. No, I'll pause the video and I'll get back to you. Alright, so before I paste this line of code, first of all I have to call a method called onPost execute, and then I paste this line of code. Then I say sp.edit dot put string, and I'll call it get, or rather I'll say value would be token, and then device token will be what we are passing into it. Device token. Now this device token is the one we got from here, and we say apply. Now I'll move this out of here and I'll paste it at the top here. I'll say device token. So now what I did was that I got the device token, which is this guy, the O object, which is what was returned on the do background tags. Then I will now say O dot, or rather I'll just say O. Now this O now is the object of this token that was returned. So I'll say the string. Now I'm going to move this away from here and I'm going to put it back here. Sorry. Then before that, I'll first say if instance of exception. If it is an exception that was returned, I just want to log it. O dot to string else. That's what we call this, because I don't want to store an exception as the token, and I want to store the real token. Then one more thing is that I would log this and say token got, and say O dot to string, so we can see the token that was generated in our log. So now let's go into our main activity. I know that this video is becoming long, but let's just hang in there. It's almost true. I'll say keep alive. Let me see if I can import this guy. Sorry, that's supposed to be small letter, keep alive. I'll say intent. Everyone's nice. Every time to see it. Let me do the import myself. Let me see import com dot string dot data dot keep alive. This guy should see it now. For some reason it's not yet seeing it. Alright, it's seeing it now. So now let's come into the main activity and we see keep alive is equal to new keep alive. This keep alive, like I said, is the class that keeps running, the service that keeps running each time the app is being closed in the background. So whenever you close the app in the background, not that you minimize, when you close it from the background, the service will keep running. Because at times that start non-sticky, in my own experience, does fail sometimes. So we pass in this as the context and we say keep alive. Keep alive. This when I'm calling it that class. This really stubborn. I don't paste it, I don't really call it that. And that uses Java for you sometimes. So let me say if is service run, then I'll say keep this is becoming something else. Keep alive dot get class start service. forgot to mention, Android has been introducing a lot of new how do I put it, a lot of new orders or a lot of new requirements for app developers. So for every service now you want to run, if you are using the start foreground service, you are going to have to allow the user to grant you certain permission. So you cannot just start a background service without allowing the user, because it's just as if you are starting a service without the user knowing. So the user must know that, okay, this thing wants to do this and that and this before it can be accepted. Because as Android developers, they keep improving. That's the kernel, the people writing the Android app itself, not just application like this, but the app, the source code rather. They will introduce different requirements from app developers. So that's why you see some of all these requirements that we are asking for is needed. So I'll say new PUSHY, or rather new register user. This is supposed to be one. Execute. Then I'll say pushy.listing. Now passing this as the context. Then I come to this place that says is it running. I'll say activity manager is equal to activity manager get system service context dot activity service. For use a for loop now to go through it. Activity manager dot running service info. We check to see if it is that of our application that is running. Get manager get runtime service. Then we see integer dot mark value running service not get running service. If it does equals, now inside of this for loop, now we see if a class, which is the object of the keep alive that we passed in, dot get name dot equals service. Alright, so now we say service info, which is the object of this class, dot get class name, or rather service info dot service dot get class name. Then if it matches, we say that yes, our service has started. We say service is else, or rather bring this and paste it here and say service is not sorry about that, and give it tag main activity, paste it in there. Now one more thing we need to add, and then we are done with this our code. We return here to false. Then we come in and we say undestroy, because this is where the application terminates from. We say intent is equal to new intent. Then we say intent dot set action and restart pushy receiver dot class dot put extra, then we pass this as well. If you can remember, we are there's a place we defined this. This was inside of the pushy receiver, which is this guy here, 0. If it is not equals to null, now come and check if it is equals to 1, then do this. That's what you see we are trying to advocate here. So this is supposed to be 0 and not O. So now we now broadcast it by saying this dot broadcast, send broadcast, and passing the intent. So whenever the user minimizes our app and clears it from the background, immediately the service keeps restarting. So it does not stop the service at any point. So now once we run our program, immediately we will send this notification. We will now have to click on a button, or rather let me just create a button so it will look more realistic. So first things first, I'm going to just have a relative layout here. Then the next thing I'm going to have is an edit text. Then this will be center in parents true. Then the hint will be SMS. Then I also have a button. Then wrap. The text will be send. I'll have to give this guy an ID. Sorry for that, you guys. Edit. Let me hit edit query. I'll just say edit in short. Then I'll say below edit. Then I'll say center horizontal true. Then I'll format the code. So now when I click on this button, we should send an SMS. Now let me give it an idea of button. So now we call this edit and we call this button. So I'll just come right here, I'll say edit text, then button, I'll say button. Now we have to come and instantiate them. Edit text is equal to r.edit. Same goes for button. Change this to button. Now we say on click. Set on click. We use a lambda function. Then we say if edit text dot get string dot string dot is empty. If it is false, we will now send it as a payload. So what we do, we say map object is a button hash map. Now we'll say object, or rather I'll call this payload. So payload dot put this is the key. Now we'll say the ID is user 1. Then what was the next value? Let me quickly split this guy into 2 so we can view what we are doing. Let me minimize this. I hope you guys can see my screen properly. So now the first value was ID. The next one is sender. Sorry, I'll change this to sender. Then here I want to enter my ID user entered, the user of our app dot string. Yeah, so that's the two things. Then the next one now is an image URL. Now for this, I don't want to start going into details on how to use S3 buckets to upload an image and then get the path and then get it, upload it here as well. It's going to be more cumbersome and the program will be getting more confusing, because this is just introduction into sending notifications. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google. Let me bring up this guy. My internet is off again. Let me connect. Now I'm going to look for an image. Let me say images. Look for an image that is online. Let's select this one. I think this one looks serious. Yeah, I think this is okay. I'll just copy the link. Then I'll copy the link address. Now if I should paste this in the URL, it should give us, okay, no, this is not what I wanted. I wanted just a single image. Okay, you know what, let me open this and then go and visit it. Let's see how we can get the image URL, because that's all I need. While it's load, let's just chill and wait. Alright, so now we have this. Now let's see. Copy link address. Now let's paste it and see. It's giving us something else. Thank you. This is what we need now. This is what I need. So if I copy this now, this would have been maybe the user image when you uploaded it into, when he was registering for your app, or whatever image that was been uploaded on your app, maybe on your Firebase storage, or your AWS storage, or your Amazon, or your Microsoft Azure cloud, wherever it is, Dropbucket and all sorts. So this will be the URL. This is what you now paste, because this is what it will make the request when there's network to this endpoint, then to load this image, which is what will be loaded here. So now with this, now this is the 3 payload we added into our values. Now let's come and now try and load this. So we say try catch exception, and we log it, and then we say now we come, we say PUSHY, or pusher rather. First of all, I have to declare this outside of this first. Pusher dot push. This is the inner class that was created. And we say push is equal to pusher dot request. Then we pass in the payload. Then the 2 now, which is the second object, as you can see. Let me close this out and put my cursor. See how it asks for a 2. You see it here, 2. So now this 2 now is now the token, or whoever it is we want to send the notification to. Now in this case, it will now be the ID of this our second app, which we have not yet created. So I'm just going to do it quickly and then I will let you know. So now coming to this guy now. So now let's say the token now that we want to give to this guy now will be I have a video update. I'll get back to that. So now let me see, where do we have that? Under here. I'll just copy this line of code. I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm just doing it for the learning purpose. Later on I'll now change it. So now I'll say shared preference. Now I'm going to say sp dot get string. You say token what I just did is that, the token we are going to use is the token that was given to us. So I'm just sending the same message back to ourselves for now. Then once I run it and it works properly, we'll now send it to the remote user, which is the second app we are going to also send it to. So now we come here and we say pushy.send. Then we'll pass in this our argument which we just created here. And now with that, I think we are done with our program, so we can now test it. So I'm going to launch the program on my device, and then I'll test it, and then I'll show you what it is. Also, I'll also add the screenshots so people can understand. So now let me run the program. So the program has finished building and it is successful. So now it's installing. So now what I did was that I clicked on my log card, and then I went into this register, and then you can see we have an exception. So let me paste it and see. It told me exception, internet permission. Okay, so one more thing I forgot, we have to edit some XML. So I have to pause the I'll pause the video now, and then I'll add in those permissions on our Android manifest. So now, first of all, I have to go back onto this guy. Then in the documentation, there are some values we need to add. So let it load up. Fast. So now let's get started with the documentation. So we've already done the Android, we've got the SDK, we've registered the device, modified the launcher, then modify. Now the manifest now is where we are next now. So I need to copy this line, paste it in my app. I'll come to the manifest. So this first line has been added. Now I still have to have some other line again. Now this also has to be added. So I'll just take all this line from this expert, copy it all the way to this button. Copy this and then come right back here. Let me see, is it within the application tag or outside of it? Application tag, so it has to be inside of the application tag. So at the bottom here, I'll paste it down. Now this would be our let's see. Now one more thing, that service which we created, we have not called it here, so we need to call it. So once again, I'll pause the video and then I'll paste in the line of code and then I'll continue. So now this is the service I say we ought to add rather. So this is it here. So this would be keep alive, restart. I'm looking for something. Bear Start service. It's supposed to be for this guy. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, so it's correct. It's correct. Push it out. Keep alive. So that's for this guy. So yeah. Now let me run the program again and let's see. So as you can see, we're able to get the token. Now this is the token. You should open up this section now and refresh. You see that we have a new token. Now let me see. As you can see, this is the token here. Hold on, let me quickly adjust something. See 369. Let's see 369. So you can see this is the token here. So now let's see if we can send an SMS, a notification to our phone. I know you guys can't see it, but if you do it and run it on your phone, you should get the same result as I did. So let me test it and see. Hello. Let's see, I just sent it. Let me see. Let me go into my pending notification. Nothing has been sent. Alright, so we are having an issue. Let me check it and try it out, and then if it works I'll let you know, and then I'll tell you what was causing the issue. Alright guys, this is the error I'm getting. So let me quickly do research and then figure it out, and then I'll come back to the video. Alright, so guys, I did a bit of research and I found out that error I was getting was a network based error. So I had to just use this as a alternative to bypass the error. Now this is not the best option, but this is in absence of a better, well structured approach. I just use this line. Now when I run the program, I'm not getting this error, and I believe you guys will be getting the same error. So let me also fix it. This is what the error says. And create. So let me also fix it, and then I will get back to you guys. Alright, so I figured out that let me try and create the second project of this, our push notification, whereby instead of me sending it directly to myself, I will send to the next app. Let me see if it is the error from the code. What do I mean? As you can see, I am calling this our device token right at this point, which I'm thinking that's what is causing the issue. Maybe you cannot send yourself a token. You cannot send a push notification to yourself. That's what I'm suspecting. So let me create a new the second project, which is this guy here, and then call this guy API key within this context. So having said that, I'll just have to divide my screen. So almost everything here will be similar to this. So I'll just have to copy and paste actually. So what I'm going to copy this data class. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to paste it in, and I'm going to go to let me see. It has been copied. So now I'm going to go into our apps. Okay, I think I'm out of internet, so I need to connect back. So I need to go into apps. Why you failing to fetch? so we are connected. So now this is the second app. Now I'll just close this app because I already have all I need. I'll come here and I'll pick this guy now. This is for the second activity, which is this guy. So the values will be different. Okay, so it's complaining. I need to add the SDK rather. So before I go on, stance. Okay, started. Now I'm just going to comment this out so I can add the what's it called? You know what? I'm going to comment all this class out so I can add the dependency and then I'll build the project again. So I'll come back to my first project, copy these lines and paste them here. Synchronize. While that is synchronizing, I'll open up my manifest. I think that has completed, and then I'll paste this. Now this won't be training, this will be second. Now add the necessary permissions. So now what we are going to do next now will be let's see, let me uncomment this guy. Yeah, so everything should fall in now. It's supposed to be second. So yeah, so now let me just close this down, close all this down. Let me import this. It's going to see that standard. So now, like I said, everything in there is going to also be similar to this, so I don't need to have to start. I'll just come right here, layout, come into this section. You can just fast forward the video so you don't watch me do all this. Then come here, copy this, come into this section, paste it. Now adjust this to second. So now so the aspect that I want to change now is, I'm not yet seeing it, so I can type it in and type it in. Alright, I've seen it. Okay, we're having okay, so just and then import this resource package from within its context here. So now what I want to do now is I want to take this guy's API key and give it to this guy because we want to talk. Hold on, we're in second. I want to take second and give it to training, which is the first guy, the first app rather. So now this is the first app key. Let me just do like this. Hold on, let me do something like this, token, and then paste it here. Then comment this guy out, when we want to register the app. Okay, before I do this, first of all, I need to properly register the app. This second app. Then I'll now call this first app API token. So let me adjust this. Now it's telling me warning. Now let's see. Let's run this our second app on our device, and then let's see. So we're going to go into this guy. And we'll run my internet this time around. As you can see, it does not display anything because it has not been registered. So let the app install. Let me just pause the video. Once everything is set, I'll continue. So it has run, and then here is the token that was given. So now if I should come rather, if I should refresh this now, I should have one. Yes. So now I want to send from second to my other app, which is training. So what I'll do is I'll come here, comment this guy, and comment this guy. And let me just quickly put down a note. What I'm going to come and do now is to come here, pick this guy, this second, take it into training. All this would have been, if it was a real application, all this would be done dynamically without you having to click on it. But I'm just used for example purpose. So now this token will be this guy now. Okay. You can as well clear this off, we don't need this again. And then what the hell is with this my internet? Why do you keep disconnecting? So I'm mistaken now. Let me refresh. Now training. Take this guy out and come to second, and paste it right there, and then let's see if we stop getting that error. Now let's run the program. Let's start with second. Now I'm going to send the value and let's see if it goes smoothly. Installing. So once again, I'll pause the video. Once everything is ready, I'll let you know. I'm still getting the same error, so what's going to happen is I'm going to make a research on why this is happening, and once I get it, I'll continue the video. Alright guys, so after quite some research I made, I found out that there was a typo in my endpoint. This was supposed to be push and not pushy, so this was what was causing all the glitch and the problem we are having. So now if I run the program now, we should have a running app. So now I'm going to further test it with the app itself. So as you can see, I'm already running the program, but let me explain what I mean. If you check in the constant variable, as you can see, I'm making use of the training API. I'm not yet making use of the second API key, and then I'm referencing, you see, training. If I go into it, let me scroll, pending device, sorry, recent device. As you can see, its token is 36 and ends with 38. Now if you look into my main activity, you see that is what I'm also calling. So I'm calling training API key and token within it just for testing, and then I will now, the next phase, I will now use second API key now to test. So having said that, let me get writing. Let me close this down. Alright, so now if I should enter your or whatever value and I click on send, I should get a notification that is received. So let's wait for it, and it has come in. And if I will send a screenshot of it. I will attach a screenshot of the notification I just received, and I click on it and I'll screenshot it. So now let me now reference the second app. So now what I'll do is I'll comment this guy, and then I'll uncomment this guy. You see, it starts with A4 and ends with 19. So I'll go into here, I'll come to second, recent device. As you can see, his own API starts with A4 and ends with 19. Now I'll come and take his API key. As you can see, it is his API key now I'm referencing. I'm no longer referencing the one of training, because how this thing works is that it will look at, let me bring up my paint so I can explain better. So how it works is that once it picks up, this is your own device, and then this is the device you want to send something to. Now let me quickly write this, send. Then if I come here, I'll say sender. Then this will be receiver rather, not sender, not send. So let me clean this out. Let me just draw a box on it. Oh, sorry. You know what? Let me just call this receiver, and then this is sender. So now if I should want to send a value, let me select this. Now if I want to send to this guy here, I first of all have to go and request for this guy's registration server key. So the key is what I need, which is this guy here. Now once I get this token, this can be stored in a remote database. Then I'll now say, okay, look for this key. Now is I want to get a value. You understand what is key value pair. Now use this key to get the value of this guy's registration ID. Now this registration ID of this guy is what will now be displayed, is what I will now tell it to the key itself. It should route the packets whoever has this ID now, and this ID now is this guy here, just like your phone number. Now take that phone number and take that ID rather, or phone number, and send whatever packet I'm sending to this guy. Look for the key first of all, then the value, send it to that person, which will now return to this guy. Sorry for my diagram, but just for explanation purpose. So now let me go and copy. I've copied it. Now let me come into my main activity. Now instead of this guy, I will now change it to this guy, and then I will send it. And the same goes for the second. Okay, it's complaining because I think I did not. Okay, sorry. So this is supposed to be request token like this. So I'll run the program. Now, as I was saying, same goes for second. What I'll just do is I'll comment out second. I'll no longer be using as you can see now, this is second API key. Let me quickly adjust this. This is training. Now this is second API key. Second API. Now if I wanted to call the training, which is the first app, I'll just comment out this guy, and then uncomment this guy, and then go and get his own. Where is it? And then go and get his own API key, which is this guy. Come into this place, get his token, and then I will now pass it. You see, I'm in second. I will now pass it into this place. Where is it? Here. You can see that was what is there before because I'm trying to call the second. So now let me go back to training and then run the program. So now if I should send, I've sent it now. So now let me wait. Let me open up second. Let me see. Do I have second? Yeah, I have second. And let's wait. I will get the notification soon. Let me quickly check my. Let me quick check my second and see if there's any pending notification. Here you go. It has come, and you can see now. Screenshot it. So these two items, I will attach them so you guys will see it. So with that, we come to the end of today's tutorial. Please check out my other YouTube videos and like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for your time and have a great day.